everyone. It's been a long time. I'm so happy to be back. Today, you are in for a treat. We are back. This is season 4, episode 1 of Get to Know Them. And I am just so happy that all of you have been watching and following along on these interviews. It is my absolute joy to talk to people every Tuesday at 1 o'clock and learn their stories. And it's just awesome. And I'm just so happy that you're back and I'm back and we're all back in the groove again. So before I introduce today's guest, well, first I'm going to tell you, it is Tara MacIntosh, who is the founder of Gregor's Gift, and her story is absolutely incredible. I can't wait to bring her on and share her with you. And before I get started and bring her on, I wanted to talk to you about our show sponsors. As you guys know, all of you who have been following along, by the way, if it's your first time ever watching this show, so my name is Monica Graves. I'm your host. The show's called Get to Know Them, and I broadcast live from my studio in Burlington, Ontario. I'm a jewelry designer here, and over the pandemic, I thought, how fun would it be to start a talk show where I got to talk to all of the amazing people who I've met and networked with over the years. And most of them being Gen Xers like me. So you'll notice all my Gen X paraphernalia behind me. So if you're a Gen X kid, you'll really love love this show as well. And the show has a couple of sponsors. So Brenda Bedome has been with me since the beginning. She's amazing. She's a clothing designer based out of Toronto, Ontario. She designs clothing for women. And today I'm wearing her top. I'm also wearing her pants, which you'll see in my social media. She's wonderful. And her website is brendabedome.com. And if you use the coupon code Get to Know Them, you will receive 20% off of your order, which is so nice of her. And I'm super excited. I have a brand new sponsor, and it is Scooter's Roller Palace in Mississauga. They are our newest sponsor. So if you guys were roller skating, back in the good old days, and you're thinking about maybe revisiting that, I strongly suggest you go there. And just so you know, I'm there Thursday nights, pretty much every Thursday. Let me know if you want to come out. There's so many beautiful people there, and it is such a good time. So don't be afraid to come out and roll with us. And you can always reach out to me for more info. And then our last sponsor is actually me, myself, and I. My company name is Glam Jewels, and I've been in business for over 20 years, and I create custom jewelry for women for all walks of life. And what I'm wearing actually today, this short necklace, is our Three Little Wishes necklace. And every year we help a family suffering from the financial burdens of cancer with our Three Little Wishes jewels. So make sure to go onto our website and read the story about this year's family and grab yourself a Three Little Wishes necklace. You can do that at glamjewels.com, GLAMJULZ.com. So now I'm going to read you Tara's bio before I bring her on, and then we're going to have a wonderful chat. I'm so excited about this. Here we go. I feel a little rusty today, guys, but I'm getting back in the swing. And I was so grateful that Tara could talk today because she's one of those people I'm always like so super relaxed with, and she's just wonderful. You're going to love her. So today you are going to meet Tara MacIntosh. The art of communication and finding the exact right words to express a message lights Tara up. Tara spent years in the fast-paced world of advertising before she started her own business, The Writing Suite. In 2017, she started her business to focus on writing and communication projects for a roster of corporate clients and entrepreneurs. Tara has been writing professionally and publishing for over 20 years. Most recently, Tara founded a registered charity, Gregor's Gift, after her late husband. Their mission is to support primary caregivers of critically or terminally ill loved ones. I've known Tara for a number of years. Tara has been a great supporter of my business, my jewelry business, Glam Jewels. And in 2020, she and Gregor became our Three Little Wishes family and the recipients of support from the Glam Jewels community. Tara's strength and passion to give back to caregivers is tremendously inspiring. And so is the beautiful story of the deep love and friendship she shared with Gregor. I am so happy to bring her on. Here she comes. Tara! Look at us in our matching outfits.
I know. I love it.
God, how did we know? We're so in sync.
Bring a little, little color to the scene today.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm so grateful for the sunshine we've been having because, like, usually this time of year by 2 o'clock, it's like nighttime.
Yeah.
Time to go to bed.
True enough. Okay, I'll take a nap. That's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm so happy you were available to chat today. This is really great.
Thank you for inviting
And
me. I didn't
oh
realize
my
it
God.
was like season 4, episode 1. I'm so honored to be part of it.
Yeah, well, you know what? I wanted to do a quick count to see which episode you were now. I know I'm over 100 interviews, so I
Wow.
forgot to grab that, but you actually came on when I first started. Like
Yeah.
you're one of my very first interviews, so I'm really happy to have you back again.
Me
And
too.
the question I've asked every guest, every episode, which I know I asked you back then too, but just as a little refresher, is can you tell our audience what little Tara wanted to be when she grew up? Because I love knowing that about people.
So I think I answered this the same last time because it's the one thing that pops up every time someone asks me this question. I wanted to be a
Yeah.
rock star. I mean, who doesn't, right?
Yeah.
We grew up in the time with the crazy hair bands and all that fun stuff. So they just look like they're having the time of their life. I wanted to be part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love,
Yeah.
well, you have to share, you and Gregor came to my 50th
Ooh,
birthday
yeah.
party, which was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And please tell the peeps how you guys dressed for that, because it was an 80s theme party.
Yes. And I mean, it
Yes.
couldn't be more on point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think we were specific people. We were just a
Yeah.
representation of hairband in general. So lots of
Yes.
spandex, lots of neon, lots of wigs. We both had wigs. And,
Yeah, that's right. I remember Gregor had a wig, and I think I asked him if I was like, "Are you Axl Rose or are you?" Because he just had like the whole vibe going on. But yeah,
yeah,
he was just a full-on rocker.
yeah.
And
I mean, Axel,
yeah,
classic. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Everybody really brought it to that party. That was a good one.
yeah. It's good to unleash the inner rock star every once in a while, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
lofty goals back then, but
yeah, for
it did
sure.
not work out, I'll tell you. That's not what we're talking about today.
No.
But
But you are a rock star in your own right with what you've done with your life experiences, and
mm,
you're definitely someone who I would love a big huge light shone on you so everybody knows about you. And we'll get there. Today is one of the steps to getting more people to know about you and what you're doing. But Tara, I met you like back at we had joined a networking group. I think we met through Hub, right?
yeah.
And you were heavily into writing,
Mhm.
which you're still doing, but at the time you were also offering a creative writing course that I attended,
Mhm.
that you
Yeah.
were teaching at like a little room in a hair salon in downtown Burlington.
Yeah.
What a
Yeah.
great what a great venue that was, and it was such an amazing exercise. You were really good at showing us just how to get out what was inside of us and not edit ourselves and get our feelings and things onto paper,
Well, thank
you
you.
know?
That's great
Yeah,
feedback. Thank you. I always feel like, there's a writer in everyone somewhere for sure.
yeah,
You just need to let it come out. And it doesn't I think most people when they're writing, there's this fear of being perfect, and that probably comes from school because most people's experience writing, they're constantly being graded. So, they're trying to make it good or
Yeah.
approved by someone. But the reality is, everybody's style is different. And, you just write, it will help you. The art of writing definitely helps you work out lots of thoughts in your mind, or just stories that you might want to tell that you kind of forgot about, which happened in our class. Some people were writing stories of things that they had forgotten about from years ago. So yeah, it's always something interesting comes out of the writing process. So I love to bring people in and just take down the walls and get them just writing anything. It doesn't have to be published. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be read by anyone else but yourself, even. It's just a great exercise. Mhm.
Yeah, that's so interesting. It is hard to allow yourself to explore creativity sometimes. Like just you saying, it can just be for yourself. Nobody else has to read it.
Mhm.
It gives a person permission to not be perfect. We're so focused on perfection, I find that,
Yes,
we need
absolutely.
people like you to, yeah, coach us
Great
out of that.
example. Well, and what you see, like any profession, what you
Mhm.
see is the result of drafts and drafts and drafts. Writers don't sit down and write perfectly and then publish. I can tell you that for
Yeah.
sure. So, yeah, so the process is long and painful sometimes, but it exists. So when someone sits down to write, their end result, forget about the end result. Just write however you feel, and not everyone is meant to be published. So just do it for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's great. So, Tara, I would love to know, I don't think I asked you this last time, what your creative process is when you have to sit down and especially write for somebody else.
Mhm.
How do you sort of get in the
Pull out
mode? I
as I say.
Yeah, I heard an interview with John Cleese where he was like, if you're stuck on, if you're doing something creative and you get stuck, get up and wash your dishes and then go
Yeah.
back to it. So I'm wondering, like, do you have like a process like that where you kind of go in and out of the flow to keep things going, or
Yeah,
how
for
do you
sure.
make the magic?
It's not, yes, make the magic. It's not, consistent either. I can say that. As you know, as a creative person, some days you can go in and it just flows beautifully and you're amazed at yourself, what's happening. You're so excited. And other days you
Yeah,
can sit there for 4 hours and there's nothing, you know? I'm
yeah,
sure doing jewelry is similar. You probably get very inspired some days, and other days you can't even put one necklace together. You're just frustrated.
yeah,
Yeah. So, it's a similar process, and the you just have to have the attitude where it's gonna come. So my process I like to ruminate a lot. I do a lot of interviews and I write about a lot of other people, their businesses or their passions, or I write a lot of biographies and things like that. So I interview people. It's often for me what people don't say where the magic is, not what they are telling me. And I can weave that out just by talking to someone, their body language, their how they get excited about something. They might not even realize they're getting excited about it when they're talking, but I see all those little things. I've been doing it long enough that I can pull all that out. And then I bring it together. I just sit on it. I let it sit in my head for a little bit, and then there just comes a point where it starts to come out, and it's almost like it comes through me. I don't force it unless I'm on a really tight deadline and I have to force it. Then maybe that does
yeah,
happen. Yeah, but
yeah.
generally it will just sit for a minute, and then it will come out within a day or two, and I'll have the piece that I need. Mhm.
Oh, that's beautiful. So there's a whole observation that goes with it of you
Yeah.
really paying attention.
Yeah, for what I
Yeah.
do, for sure. Yeah, because it just kind of happened over the course of my business, working with other businesses. My job became pulling out what is great about them and telling their stories,
Mhm.
because it's hard to talk about yourself. It's hard to
Mhm.
see. your magic. You might think
Yeah.
you know, or you might want it to be a certain thing, but it's hard to see yourself. So having a writer come in and just have you talk. You just talk about your story and what you
Yeah.
do, and it's very evident to me. I can pull it out easily.
Yeah. That's fantastic. It's funny, I had dinner with a friend last night, and she was saying that she needed to revamp her LinkedIn page.
Mhm.
And she had somebody look at it and they said, "Well, this is great, but what is your why?"
Mm.
And so we were talking about, she goes, "I don't know what my why is."
Yeah.
And say, you know, it's like these are the things that we don't always know ourselves, but other people would know
Yeah.
because you see how passionate they are, like you said, when they speak or what they, yeah, so that's such a great service that you can provide people with because yeah, most people they just do what they do. They're not getting that introspective, and it's hard when it's your own thing. It's always so wonderful to have somebody like you fly in and say, "Hey, how about this angle?"
Yeah, especially if you're like, entrepreneurs are generally doing things that they're passionate about, so they're already in that world, and so for me to come in and pull it out, it just I love doing it too for people because once they read something, they're like, "Oh, yeah, like, that's what I've been meaning to say, that's where it is, that's where my heart is, I just couldn't get to it." Things like that. So that's very satisfying
Right.
for me to provide that for someone, and then they can move forward with that piece and use it however they need to use it, or we expand on it. Sometimes we'll do a lot of projects together, sometimes just one, different things, right?
Yeah,
So, yeah, it's very
great.
satisfying work to get to someone's heart because that's you're
Yeah.
selling, right? Simon Sinek, our big marketing guru.
Yeah.
People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So you have to explain your passion behind it, what it is. Why are you doing this? Why? Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, that's such a great tip. Yeah, perfect. Well, I need to connect you with this friend of mine. She's gonna
Yeah,
love this.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yes.
that's
Love
great. Perfect. So,
it.
Tara, I want to talk a lot about Gregor's gift.
Yeah,
And holy smokes, you're doing amazing things.
thank
And
you.
so if we could sort of get to go back to the beginning of how Gregor's gift was born and your story, I would love for you to share that.
Yeah, sure.
That's yeah.
Yeah, okay, so, unfortunately, my husband was diagnosed with cancer during COVID, so in June of 2020. It was quite severe. They didn't really use stage 4, but it basically was stage 4, when they found it. So this is the terrifying thing about cancer is you have it and no idea until, it's bad. So, we went through a lot. I won't give you every single detail. You can ask
Yeah.
and I'm happy to provide, but basically the overview is we had a chance at the beginning to have surgery. He had esophageal cancer, so he had a tumor in his esophagus at the base of it. So he went through radiation to shrink the tumor to hopefully have surgery, and that was what we were led to believe was going to happen. I never even really thought it would go any other way. To be honest, this was my
Mhm.
first, I mean, not my first encounter with cancer, but this close where I was involved from the very, very beginning. So I didn't know all the things that can happen. Yeah.
Mhm.
So anyway, the he went through the radiation. At the end of it, they did the scans, and unfortunately, it had moved to his bone. So because of that, they would not do the surgery. They told us if they can't take all of it, they can't do it because while he's recovering from the esophageal operation, there's still cancer in his body, which will spread. And then, the whole thing will be for nothing. He might have a better chance just fighting and maintaining as much as possible with the tumor. So that's what we did. We started everything medical that they told us to do. So we did all the chemo possible, more radiation, and then we also did all the alternative things too, because at this stage, you're kind of grasping at everything, anything possible. So we went down the route of nutrition and all the energy healing and all of that alongside all the medical treatments. We even reached out to the US to see if there was a possibility of getting other results from the US and having surgery in the States. But of course, it was COVID. A lot of things were complicated by that. But we were going to leave basically no stone unturned. We were going everywhere. And in the end, it didn't take that long. And he was past the point of even treatment within about a year. So we tried a couple of alternative treatments, but they didn't take. So it was 18 months in total, and we lost him almost 2 years ago, December 8th, 2021. Mhm.
Wow. My
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't even seem real sometimes when I talk about it now. It still
Yeah.
feels like it was happened to someone else. I'm just telling this story, like it's
Yeah.
quite a journey to go through from beginning to end. Yeah. As you
For
know,
sure.
experience with
Yeah.
your dad, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was the same type of cancer my dad
Mhm.
had. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Wow. And I love, I mean, it's on your website. I love how you talk about Gregor
Mhm.
being so kind to you over that time and taking care of you, and
Yeah.
you had so much happening, yourself to take care of him, and he would
Yeah.
bring you a hot cup of coffee,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
know eh, he became, a caregiver for you as well, as much as he could be, right? Which is so beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. The other layer to this story
Yeah.
is he had children during this. So, while
Yeah.
he was going through his initial treatments, we found out we're having twins, and then by the time they were born, we knew he was terminal. So so then we had newborns alongside all of his treatments. And so, yeah, he was doing whatever he could. At the beginning, he could still do some things with the kids when they were first born, and he did as much as he could for as long as he could,
Mhm.
and then and tried to take care of me too. Yeah, he was not giving up. Let's say not giving up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Wow.
Hmm.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, yeah, those were, yeah. I so I'd love to know, like, at what point did you feel like, um did it really hit you with the caregiver part of this whole experience? Because you were the primary
Hmm.
caregiver in all of this, and like you said, you were going through so many things that how would you even know what to expect? Or I'm sure every day was like
Yeah.
you
You
just
don't.
didn't know what was coming at you. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely not. Yeah, there's a lot of complications that happen. um, all the medical treatments that you go through, especially everything that you try to do because it affected his digestive system. He had a feeding tube, which is a whole other thing.
Wow.
That was awful. He had that for quite a while, and they're pretty. I think we still have a long way to go when it comes to feeding tubes, and I hear that from a lot of people
Mhm.
who have that experience. So yeah, that was not pleasant in any way. So there was all of these things. We dealt with home care and hospital care, but because of COVID, a lot of times he'd have to go on his own, and I would have to wait outside. So being pregnant, sitting in the car,
Yeah.
the parking lot for like 4 hours sometimes, and he'd be in the hospital trying to get whatever doctor or treatment appointment he needed. So there was a
Mhm.
lot of complications. Eventually, I did get to go in the hospital with him, but it was an easy process. There's long lines. I don't know if anyone who went into the hospital during COVID would know. There's
Mhm.
You have to go through all the screenings. You have to sign in. You have to be on a list. There's big lines. You can't come in and out of the hospital. Like all of this stuff. So we had to deal with all that. And so I was there, and all the other caregivers for anyone else that was around us was basically one person because of this. So we
Yeah.
couldn't have family members did come in and out a little bit, but it wasn't easy to have that happen, and friends was almost impossible to have that happen. So Yeah. So
Mhm.
circumstances didn't help the situation.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And looking back on it now, Tara, do you sort of look at yourself and think, how did I ever do this? Or like, what kept you going? I mean, you had a lot. To, it's
You
just incredible.
you
Yeah.
just try. I'm pretty sure for most of us, we look back on just regular COVID experiences and think, did that even happen? Like, was that a bad dream?
Mhm.
It was so crazy.
Yeah.
And so for me, yeah, it's even more so. Um,
Mhm.
I don't know what I guess what keeps you going is the hope. You keep hoping that something's going to turn around. You keep reading these stories of miracle recoveries. His age, they kept saying, he's young, this is going to work in his favor, he doesn't have any other complications, so these
Mhm.
are all positive things, let's work with that. All of his organs were functioning well through all the treatments and things like that, so they kept sort of reinforcing the positives.
Yeah.
And his age kept coming up quite often. He's early 40s, so this is good. He's young, his body's
Mhm.
young, they can fight stronger than someone who may be older, so we're gonna give it everything we got because we have a younger body to work with, kind of thing.
Mhm.
So these, I mean, of course, in the back of your mind, it's not good, but you hope
Mhm.
and hope and hope that something will happen to give us as much time as we could have, or even just a relief. Like I don't know if your dad was like this as well. From the point of diagnosis till the end, there was no relief for Gregor. Like some cancer patients, I've met other widows now and other people who've been through these journeys, and they may have a year or two where they don't feel so bad, where they could travel, where they could do a few things they wanted to do. But we never got that, not even
Mhm.
for a day. Like right from the start to the end, he suffered.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. It was the same with my dad. It was like 3 months, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a
Well,
crazy, like every story is different. We learned too. So you think of cancer, you think maybe people have a similar journey, but not anyone that we met. Everybody's diagnosis and journey is so different. And medication
mhm.
and specialists, like everybody goes through a totally different journey, which is still
Yeah.
surprising to me considering y- cancer is quite prevalent. So you would think
Yeah.
there's kind of like a few different paths, but it's not. At least in our experience, there was not no one path. It was all over, and it's
Yeah.
so experimental too in our experience because every body's different, every chemistry is different, the reaction to every
Mhm.
medication is different. So doctors are, their research is amazing. They're making great strides, but all of these factors complicate everything. So they're always
Mhm.
trying to stay on top of what's going on, and so are you. And so
Yeah.
yeah, it's it's a waiting game, which is a terrible waiting game. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, and did you find that everybody in, all the doctors and nurses and everything, that they were, eh, well, yeah, you kind of said that before, but like as far as the hope goes, they did.
Mhm.
I found that with my dad too. It was a constant like, we're moving forward, we're moving forward.
Mm,
Like actually didn't know he was, because you're in denial too,
yeah,
right? And I remember it was like right in the last week that a doctor finally said, your father is dying. And it
right.
was like, wow, I wish somebody had told me that before. Even I don't know. It's just the way your brain is. I think it's a protection. We but hope is so important because
Yeah,
those miracles do happen,
they
and
do. They do. Some
yeah,
people
yeah,
do come out and some
yeah.
people live, 10, 15 years. And even that, we had researched and reached out to some people in the Guelph area who had there was a man there who had a similar story to Gregor. similar
Mhm.
age and everything, and he's still here. He didn't end up having the
Wow.
surgery. He still has his tumor, but it's over 10 years later, and he did get offered surgery, I think, from somewhere in the US, but he opted
Mhm.
not to do it for some reason, for whatever reason he decided, and 10 plus years he's living, he's doing well. So with the
Yeah.
tumor, like you never know. So you
Mhm.
can't give up. You just keep searching for that miracle, right? Keep searching.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
Wow. So, Tara, um, Gregor's gift.
Mhm.
Explain to the people what this is. Like, this is amazing. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, sure. So Gregor's Gift
Yeah.
is a registered charity, and it really came out of our discussions. Like you were asking a bit earlier, how I knew that the caretakers were important in this role. And
Mhm.
it's because, like, you're in the hospital a lot. So you hear, there's a person who's getting treatment or waiting for whatever they're waiting for, and their caregiver is there supporting them. But then you see them go out into the hallway and they're calling, because the furnace broke down, or they're calling work because they're going to be a few minutes late, or they're trying to organize someone to pick up their kids because the appointments are going late, or whatever it is. And then they come back and then they're with their person again, which of course you would never trade that time for the world, but you are juggling so many things as the caregiver, because you have to, life keeps moving, which is the part that kind of messes with your brain, because you're like, no, the world needs to stop right now because this is the
Yeah.
most important thing in the world, but it doesn't stop. So you have to keep moving with everything, all the responsibilities you had before, and probably more now. And also with juggling, spending as much time as you can and supporting as much as time and energy as you can with your loved one. So this role is it comes up suddenly, because usually people don't expect this thing to happen, and then you're now having to deal with all of this somehow and figure it all out. So we became, Gregor too, we became aware of this, and probably also because we had newborns at the same time. So he was very aware of all the things that were going on, that we were trying to juggle. And my family stepped in and helped so much with the kids so that I could be more with him. Thank goodness. I got to spend a lot of time
Yeah.
with him, which of course is amazing. Um, and even like all the people that supported Gregor, like even his doctors, his nurses, even right up until, the last week when we were moving to hospice, before we left the hospital, because we had spent 3 weeks there, he wanted me to go. It was around this time of year, so it was Christmas time. So he wanted me to
Mhm.
go and buy chocolates for all the nurses and doctors who had supported him. So I did, and he handed them all out, and they were kind of taken back, especially the doctors. I don't think oncology doctors are used to being thanked, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, I think they're more
Wow.
used to being, quite the opposite. So, they were like, one of the doctors almost walked away. He didn't even know what to do. He was so taken back with Gregor thanking him and giving him these chocolates. So it was these little moments that started, and we were talking, and I was like, how nice would it be to just pay someone's mortgage so they could take time off work to spend time with their loved one? Because, like, I luckily could do that. I could take time off to spend time
Mhm.
with him, but not everybody can do that. So we started to think of these little things that maybe we could help out with, just to give a few people a little break so that they could spend their time, because that's all you have at that point, and that's the most
Yeah,
important thing, right? So
that's right.
that's how the seed began. And I never imagined in 2 short years it would turn out to be what it is today. Like, it's
Yeah.
incredible what has happened. Yeah.
God,
So,
that's
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
yeah, and you guys have had, like, all different projects that you've done over the years. And
Yeah.
I want to talk about your latest one because
Yeah.
everybody needs to get involved in that one. But you've done like hospice comfort kits.
Yeah.
Um, you're actually helping. Well, I'm so grateful for you're delivering a beautiful basket to our Three Little Wishes family this year
Yes.
uh, to help Cassie, the wife,
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
is
it's my
really
privilege to do
thoughtful.
that. So we didn't mention this yet, but Gregor
Yeah.
and I were a Three Little Wishes family as well a few years
Yeah.
ago. So thank you to you. I still remember where I was. You called me and said you wanted to include us and tell the story. And at that point, Gregor was still going through radiation at the beginning. So there was still hope that he was going to have surgery and be okay.
Yeah.
So we were thrilled to be part of all of it and to participate. So thank you so much for including
Yeah.
us. It means a lot to
Of
the family
course.
for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was great. And there, I'm so happy you're here because there's a lot of people who will watch who read your story and they'll be so happy to hear, you know,
Oh, good.
you
And
where you're at now. And
thanks for the
yeah.
support. Everybody who bought the necklace and wore it. And so what we did, I can tell everybody what we did
Yeah.
with the money, which was so wonderful to receive. So we didn't know Gregor didn't have a history of cancer in his family, especially, and not this type. Like there was nothing to indicate this was coming. So when we received the money, I was still pregnant, and we decided to save the cord blood at the birth of our twins because it's a safety net against. I think it's now up to like 250 diseases if they occur between 0 and 18. So to have that cord blood is invaluable if something were to happen. I mean, we tested Gregor's tumors and we did all the genetic things that you're supposed to do, and it didn't show up as genetic. So, hoping against hope, nothing ever occurs. But if it does, we have the cord blood thanks to the Three Little Wishes campaign,
Wow.
which will be invaluable. Leukemia, which is one of the top children's cancers, the cord blood is very useful in helping to fight that. So thank you to the community for having that, we have it safely tucked away, hopefully never to
Yeah.
use, but if we need it, it's there.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so happy, Tara. Yeah, that is mind blowing. I mean, that just shows you what research money um
Mhm.
goes into and how much it does help, to have something like that available for
Yeah.
newborn babies today. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
if you start to read about it, it's pretty incredible what you can do if with it.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, it's so we're very,
Good.
we were pleased at the time to be able to do that as a safety net for our
Good.
family. Mhm. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm so happy. That's great.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about the event coming up. So,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
event is a fundraiser. So,
Yes.
when you're doing any type of fundraising and you're raising money, maybe we'll start with where the money is going to.
Yes.
So, when someone donates to you, where does that money go?
Okay, so the journey to become a registered charity is quite long. I didn't realize at the beginning. But to be fully registered, to be able to issue tax receipts, it takes about a year and a half of paperwork. So while we were doing that with my legal team, you have to have, a board put together. You have to have legal counsel. So while I was working through all that, um, we did smaller donations. The word was starting to spread a little bit, and we got smaller donations from people. So we would immediately just refund it back into the community. So we did things like so this is around the time when gas was astronomical.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we bought gas cards for I think there was 50 gas cards we purchased and distributed them to caregivers in a long-term healthcare facility in London. And we did that because caretakers have, 100 stops they have to make, getting everything for the household and all the supplies that their loved one might need. So gas being so expensive, a little help with that department would go a long way. So we decided to do that because it was an easy project to execute. Um, we donated a kitchen to Habitat for Humanity, just because Gregor loved to cook. He would cook such wonderful things, and he was so into all the culinary everything. So we did that in honor of him. We also started our our charity event last year was our biggest, and now we're going to repeat it this year. So we're going to talk about this for sure. But last year, we at the Burlington Performing Arts Centre, we had a night of comedy. We wanted to make it really fun and happy. We don't want to focus on the sad part of the story. But Gregor and I loved comedy. We would go to comedy festivals all over. Whenever we traveled, we would find some sort of comedy to attend. So it really represents who he is. Plus, it gives everybody a good time. I think coming out of COVID, we all needed a good laugh, So,
Yeah.
so we built this show, and the Oakville Improv Theater Group, they came and they were a huge hit. They were a big part of the show. We also had a couple of comedians come. We had a big silent auction as well, and the whole thing generated about $18,000. So it was way beyond my expectations for sure. I was thinking we might get 6,000 or something like that. So yeah, so it was a wonderful surprise to get that much in the end. And what we did is we partnered with hospice, because Gregor was in hospice when he passed away. So we built a program. We helped them revive a program they had pre-COVID that they had to shut down. And basically what we do is build kits for caregivers, because when you get the call to hospice, you go quickly. There's not a lot of beds there. So when you get your call, you have to go. And you might forget, you're of course getting all the things for your loved one together, but as you go with them, you might forget all the things you might need too. So little things that you might need, like your toothbrush, your comfy socks to sit in, some lip gloss, some chocolates, some tea, some coffee, gift cards. So that kind of thing is in the kit that we give the caregivers as they're coming into hospice. And we have heard wonderful feedback on the kits. So it makes us feel so good to have helped them revive this program and to be funding. We're providing the kits and they're distributing them for us at hospice. So we hope to continue that program and expand potentially into other hospice, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how the fundraising goes.
Yeah.
Right?
Great.
Yeah. But I get a lot of notes back from family members who say, thank you so much for thinking of us. It brought a tiny little smile to my face during the most terrible time in my life. I've been here 3 times with different parents or grandparents, and just to get this and to feel a little bit of love is so wonderful. And the staff has told us that it really helps. Some caregivers are very just inward because of what's happening around them. And once they get this kit, because I also write a handwritten note inside each one, and they read the note and they get the kit, it opens them up, and the staff can then have a different conversation than they could have previously, because the person is a little more, they breathe a little bit once they get this kit and realize someone else is out there thinking about them and been through it and sending them love. So to hear that is just that, it helps the staff then care for the whole family as a whole. Like, you can't ask for better, right? It's amazing.
Yeah, and what a beautiful way to use your writing, handwriting a note to them, and
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
been
that's
really good. It's been really good. So
so
so that's our biggest initiative so far.
good.
And
So this is going to be the second annual
yeah.
Night of Hilarity. Oh my
Yes.
God. And it's so inexpensive. Like everybody has to go.
Everybody has to
It's
come.
crazy. And you can attend virtually as well, right?
Yeah.
Like you can do
Yeah.
either virtual or in person.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us the prices and everything. Like, this is kick ass. Okay.
Yeah. Yes,
I love it.
Burlington. Love to see you. Hamilton, Oakville, Toronto, everybody come and
Yeah,
support.
everybody. London. Yeah.
Yeah, so we again are hosting at the Burlington Performing Arts Centre in the main theater. So it's beautiful, it's comfortable. The bar will be set up. We have a silent auction, which is just unreal. Monica Glam Jewels donated to the silent auction last year. And yeah, we have a lot of returning people. We have a lot of new things. Tickets like Toronto Maple Leaf tickets, Raptors tickets, Cat tickets. There's jewelry, there's purses, there's things for kids even. So lots of different, something for everyone on there on the auction table for sure. We also have a tree of giving is what it's called. So you can, if you don't want to donate if you're in attendance, you don't want to participate in the auction because some of the prices are higher, and if that's fine, you can donate what you can, like a $2, for example, and we're going to give out individualized cards and gift cards to caregivers in different hospice. And this year, we're happy to say we're going to include the Bob Kemp Hospice in Hamilton as well. So yeah, so the funds from this year's show are going to also help Hamilton. And we're in conversation with Burlington. We're just not quite there yet because their fundraising fiscal is a different time frame. So we're going to revisit later on down the road and see what we can do with them as well. So the tickets are $47.50 for all-in taxes for general public. If you're a member of the Burlington Performing Arts Centre, it's $42.50, I believe. And the virtual tickets are $25. So if you buy a virtual ticket, you can watch live, or you'll get a link at the end of the show and you can watch it another time if you can't watch on the night, which is November 30th. Yeah. November 30th. So coming up in a few weeks, it's a Thursday night, November 30th. Doors open at 7 for the silent auction. Show starts at 8 and runs for a couple hours. And our big headliners, we have the Oakville Improv Theater Group coming back again. They were a huge hit last year. They're so much fun. They do lots of singing and dancing, and they don't, it's not a scary audience participation experience. They just might ask for a name of a song or something like that, but they're not going to come and harass you or anything.
They're not going to make fun of your outfit.
No, not as far as I know. No, no promises, but I don't think so. So they're gonna do a lot for us, and then we have two comedians. So we have Justin Shaw, who I have his bio here, so I'll just glance a little bit. He was a Critics' Choice Award for 2022 for the Hamilton Fringe Festival. He's done a lot of Yuck Yucks and Just for Laughs in Toronto. He's also done a Bell 5 TV special, and just all around great comedian. So come on out and see him. And then we also have a second comedian who's Megan Mike. So we have a female comedian this year. Awesome. Very excited. And she's been in comedy for 13 years, all over the place. She lives in Hamilton, is a single mom. So she talks a lot about parenthood and just like the silliness of life and the craziness of life. So she's going to go get up and do a set as well. So little something for everyone, keep everybody laughing. And it's just a good time. Like people that came out last year, I don't think they really knew quite what to expect. But now they're excited to come again because it was just so much fun and just lighthearted and lots of things to see and do and people to talk to. So come on out. Yeah, come on out.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun. And the venue, man, like it's for people who have never been to the Burlington Performing Arts Centre. It's like being at, I was going to say the O'Keefe Center. What's it called now? I can't keep up with that place. O'Keefe is going back a few years.
Yeah, it's pretty fancy, right? It's beautiful.
It is. Yeah.
And the volunteers will be there helping, like the staff of the Performing Arts Centre. They help us out as well. So everybody will have everything that they need. And we'd love to just see everyone. And
Yeah.
then if you come and you buy your tickets or an auction item, all the proceeds will be going back into the hospice program I just spoke about, or the gift card tree of giving program is what it's called. So we'll have trees
Okay.
set up in different hospice lobbies with cards and gift cards on them that caretakers can grab as they come in and out of the hospice. So it's just a little something for themselves as they're coming in or out, a little note of encouragement and a little treat in a gift card. So that
Great.
that program is a little easier to execute. So we're going to start that one up, and
Mm,
then we'll
perfect.
see what else happens next year, where we go,
Yeah.
depending what we raise. Well, but also I'm very transparent and open with everything that we're doing. So we have a Facebook page, we have a website, we have Instagram, we have LinkedIn. You can follow us on any of those pages and find out exactly where the money is going, because I will be letting everybody know where all the donations are being spent. So there'll be no mystery to
Perfect.
where the money is going.
Oh, that's great. And everything on your social media, it's all Gregor's Gift, right? And then the
Yes.
website is gregorsgift.ca. Is that
.com,
right?
actually.
Dot
.com.
com,
Yeah,
sorry. Dot
yeah,
com.
yeah.
Um, Sarah McLeod has been leaving some lovely comments, and she wanted
Oh,
and one of hers is that she's already bought her tickets and she
yay!
can't wait for a night of laughter and to shop the auction for her holiday gift giving. So
Good.
that's a good idea too, to
Yes.
participate in the auction for Christmas gifts.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah,
one, Sarah. Thank you. Yeah,
yes, there's lots
it's a
of
great
good gift
idea.
giving. There's also, nights away and
Mhm.
spa-related gifts. We have a
Yeah.
signed Leafs jersey as well from Morgan Riley. So there's something for yourself or for others or both, you know? Yeah, the
Yeah.
auction was a big hit last year. We weren't sure because it was our first time what was gonna happen,
Yeah.
but it everybody had a great time finding their item and, bidding for it, and we had some good fun.
Good. Good. Are you still looking for auction items? Like,
Uh,
are
we
you,
Yeah, sure. Yeah, if people are
yeah,
interested, especially
yeah.
local Burlington, if
Hmm.
anybody wants to showcase their business and,
Yeah.
have an auction item available, sure, yes, absolutely. You can
Okay.
contact me through any of the Gregor's Gift socials, website, any of that. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Oh,
Yeah.
Tara, it was so good to talk to you and catch up and
So
hear
good.
more about all of the things you're doing. Like, it's pretty amazing, in the span of a couple of years, what you've accomplished. And
Thank you so much.
yeah, you are a
Thank
Wonder
you.
Woman. You even
Oh,
look like Wonder Woman with your,
my boots.
you really are. Yeah, your boots and your dark hair. Yeah, you
Well,
truly
thank
are. You're
you.
so inspiring. Yeah,
Oh, I could say the same
yeah.
for you. And thank you for the opportunity
Oh,
to tell the community about this event and to schedule it in virtual or in person. We would love the support. We'd
yeah.
love to see you. All of that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. And it's wonderful that you created something so unique, that yeah, because caregivers need to be taken care of as well. And
Yeah, I
yeah.
think it grew way faster than I imagined. And I think it's because most people are in the role with parents, with kids, with illness. Like is some, everybody has to
Mhm.
be a caregiver at some stage, so everybody understands it to some degree. And then also, people know people who are in this situation and may want to support them. So if by supporting us, we can support your caregiver too. It's a circle.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, what a good point. Because a lot of times, when somebody's going through something, the first thing you think of to ask that person is, what can I do? But they're under so much stress, they
Yeah,
don't know. So to be able to go to you and say, hey, I have a friend who's going through this,
yeah.
I'd like to send them something. Yeah, that's really
Yeah,
great.
we're working on having gifts and gift baskets to be able to send to caregivers. It's another initiative that's coming up.
Mhm.
in the next probably December or January, February for sure, so that we actually have
Yeah.
something that you can come to us and say, my friend is really going through this terrible time. I'd love to support her. And we can give them a basket full of things that they need. And the proceeds,
Mm.
part of the proceeds will go back to the charity. So we can just keep that going for
Yeah.
everybody. Yeah.
Good. Oh my gosh.
Hmm. Woohoo.
Wow. Amazing.
I
Amazing,
know.
amazing.
So much to talk about there.
Oh, yeah, I know. I could talk to you all day, any
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. Well, we can't wait to see you at the event. I know you will be there.
Yeah, we're
So,
excited. Yep. Wayne and
yeah.
I are both coming. We can't wait. Yeah, it's
Amazing.
gonna be awesome.
Yeah. Thank you so
Uh,
much. Thank you.
uh, all right, my friend. I'm gonna put you in the virtual green room and
Okay.
I'll be right back to you. But
Okay.
yeah, all right, we'll
Good.
talk in a sec. Thanks,
Okay.
Tara. Thank you guys all so much for tuning in and listening to Tara and her story. Wow, what a business that she's created. It's just amazing. And, she is proof that no matter what's going on in your life, you find the passion to give back to something that you believe in. The strength and the possibility is there. So, to any of you out there who are caregivers right now, and you're finding it challenging, and life is throwing things at you that you didn't expect. Check out gregorsgift.com and Tara and Gregor's beautiful story, and let it bring you strength and everything you need to get through what you're going through as well. And as usual, I would love it if you would support our wonderful sponsors, Brenda Badome at brendabadome.com for beautiful clothing made right here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And use the coupon code Get to Know Them for 20% off of your order. And of course, if you are feeling adventurous, our other sponsor, our new sponsor is Scooters right here in Mississauga. Please go check out Scooters, and I will see you there any Thursday night on the rink. And of course, glamjewels.com, which is my business. Please support our Three Little Wishes campaign. Buy yourself a little necklace for $35 with proceeds going to a family suffering from the financial burdens of cancer. Share our posts, whatever you can do. We do appreciate it. It's glamjulz.com. As always, it's been a blast. I have thoroughly enjoyed the last hour. I hope you have too. And I cannot wait to see you next week with another amazing guest. And thanks for being you, and keep on showing the world your sparkle. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.